Hello everybody, my name is Lydia, and today I wanted to talk about things that remind me of home. Things that aren't, maybe typical to most people that remind me of home. Obviously a bed, a nice warm bed, your own pillow is gonna remind you of home, but like maybe some unconventional things that just remind me of home. They give me kind of the nostalgia feeling for my childhood and that make me feel that sort of I'm at home. Things are comfortable, things are good. For me, it is interesting because this is the only place I've ever lived at that doesn't have a lilac bush. And whenever I smell lilacs, it just sends me straight back to summertime and springtime as a child. And whenever I move to an actual house, especially when we build our home, I will be planting a lilac bush if there's not already one there, because I love lilacs. They give me that nostalgia, Now, it's interesting because, like, I wouldn't say lilacs are my favorite flower or even my favorite scent, but they just have that nostalgic hold on me. And I do think that they're beautiful. They kind of remind me too of my birth month. I think that they're in bloom in my birth month, which is April. But for some reason in my head, I have synesthesia, and so in my head, April to me is like that lavender, lilac, purple color. And I just think there must have been a crossover at some point, especially since there was one birthday where I don't know if it was my, what was it called? What is that? Your golden birthday? Or maybe it was just the year 4404, because my birthday is 4/4, April 4th. But I just remember one year everybody getting me purple things. I think it was by coincidence, because I don't think my favorite color was purple. It might have been, I'm not sure. But there's just something about lilacs that give me that sort of like, that energy that I personally get during spring. I talked about this in a different video, but for me, the time in my life where I feel the most energized and the most creative is in the early spring. And I have like such a burst of drive and like, wow, like life is happening and it's possible after that slumber of winter. And for some reason, there's just some sort of crossover there, where I feel like that lavendery kind of color, that lilac purple, it and the scent all mixed together just remind me of like April and spring and like exciting, and I love that so much. I have a couple of different favorite flowers though. I think my dog is wanting in here. Oh, nope, she's not. Anyway, I have a couple different flowers though, and none of which are lilacs, although I think they are one of my favorite flowers, but they're not, like when I think of my favorite flower, I'm not thinking of them. I love lily of the valley. They're so dainty. It's interesting seeing them in real life though, because they're so dainty and they're so beautiful, and the leaves are just so much bigger than the actual flower, and it's kind of like this interesting thing, like the leaves take up this space, almost like competing for best in show, that type of thing. But I love them. I also love forget-me-nots. I really do. To me, I didn't even know we had forget-me-nots in Michigan, because even though I lived in northern Michigan, I didn't live in the Upper Peninsula, and so my entire life I had never seen a forget-me-not. I thought that they only lived in places like Alaska and maybe like Colorado or something. I didn't even know we had them here. And to me, I always in my head associated them with this beautiful, rugged, cold wilderness. And it's just interesting because now that I've moved up here, I have experienced such a beautiful, cold, rugged wilderness with mountainous areas, and then I got to see a whole bunch of forget-me-nots. We have forget-me-nots here, and it just, I don't know, it just made all sense to me, and I got so excited seeing them for the first time. I was like, no way, are those forget-me-nots? I can't believe we have them here. It made me so happy. And I like their color because they kind of remind me of the cold, unwavering winters that we have. It's sort of, to me, the color of a forget-me-not is sort of this winter's nod to itself, like, don't forget about me, I will be back. You know, that sort of is the vibe I get when I look at a forget-me-not. What else? Also lupins. I love lupins. They just add this sort of purpley haze when they're all together. And they just remind me of the mountains here. So much so, especially in the winter. Lupins and forget-me-nots, when I see them, I'm reminded of our harsh winters up here. And I love the harsh winters up here. They're just so magical to me. It's like Narnia every day, and I just am in love. So when I see the lupins, they remind me of the desolate, barren mountains that we have. They kind of, because when you look out at the mountains, especially when they're at a distance and they're all barren like that, they kind of give this purplish haze about them. And with everything being so barren, the rocks here being that purpley, typically they're like that purpley reddy color due to all of the ore and all of that over the years. They're all kind of like giving this certain purpley reddish haze about everything, mixed with Lake Superior's unwavering waves, you know, her resilient waves. And just all of that together reminds me of a lupin, because the lupins too, their shape is like this pointed sort of tree-like shape. And even that gives mountain to me. So when I look at them, it just reminds me of the barren winter mountains. And it's like this, like, it's almost like Lake Superior calling back, like, don't forget, I will be back. I will be back. And like, I'm still with you, you know, not necessarily in an ominous way, but just sort of a time is always continually passing sort of a way. So those are some of my favorites. I also love daffodils. I have a music box. Look up Teeny Tiny Tales. I'm almost afraid to say this out loud, because y'all know I like to gatekeep a little bit, but I have this music box that I cherish so deeply. Like, it is my favorite music box that I own, and I've collected music boxes since before I was born. My mom collected them before I was born for me, and there's this one made by, like, I actually don't remember the company, but it's Teeny Tiny Tales Daffodil Twirl, and mine has been broken over the years, not by me, just, well, one kind of by the elements, one by just some, you know, not so kind people, not so kind children in my day, and it's just, mine's a little ruined, but I love daffodils. They kind of remind me of that. They remind me of my precious music box that I will be buying another one day, so don't buy them all out, people. That's why I gatekeep. I'm gatekeeping it. I'm trying to gatekeep it anyway, until I can buy another one for myself, because it's my absolute favorite. I would love to have one that's completely together, because mine's all chipped. It's so sad. It's like, it's funny because all my other ones are in pretty fantastic condition, and that one's just chipped to bits, and it makes me so sad. Anyway, there's that. And daffodils also remind me of one of my favorite movies, which is Big Fish. I think it's a Tim Burton movie, but you'd never know it by looking at it. And it just reminds me of, oh, I don't even remember the main character's name in it. But when he's standing in the field of daffodils, because he found out that Sandra Templeton's favorite flower is a daffodil, and I don't know how he did it, but he had thousands of daffodils planted in front of her house, and he stood in front of there and he said, "Sandra Templeton, I love you and I will marry you." It was so cute. So cute. I love that part of the movie. And she's stunning in it. She's stunning. Anyway, I love that movie so much. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. And it's not really a love story, sorry. I just feel like I need to say that. It's not really, like, it's kind of a love story, but it's just a whimsical tale. It's not really like a rom-com or something. Oh my. That was my dog. Well, hello, Sophie. Hello. Other things that give me nostalgia, because I think I have a lot more favorite flowers, but I think that's all I can think of right now. Other things that bring me so much nostalgia for home. One is a Basset Hound. I love Basset Hounds, and I grew up with Basset Hounds, and there's just something that's so home about them. Even their personalities and just their funny nature, but like also very relaxed. I love it. And even the way they think is just, it's very home to me. And having a dog that just loves smells. My Walter growing up, that was our Basset Hound. He loved the smell of clovers and fall leaves so much. He would just stick his nose right in it. He loved it. And so a Basset Hound reminds me of childhood. Even two Basset Hounds waddling around together, it's just, and their bark. When I hear a Basset Hound's bark or howl, it just sends me straight back to childhood and watching them play together, because Basset Hounds have a very specific way in which they play. That's so home to me. What else? I would say lastly that I'll mention is a tuxedo cat. I had a tuxedo cat growing up. He was orange and white, and we named him O'Malley, like Thomas O'Malley from the Aristocats, which is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, maybe in general. It had a Basset Hound in it, and it had a tuxedo cat, an orange and white tuxedo cat, and he reminded me so much of my cat in personality. And then once my sweet O'Malley passed away, or like a little bit before he passed away, we started fostering kittens, and our first foster fail was Charlie, and he was a black and white tuxedo cat. And both of them were so similar. And we had fostered other tuxedo cats too, but there's something about the chunky tuxedo cats, the bigger boned tuxedo cats. They just have this stunning, I don't know, they're kind of stoic in a way, and I love them so much. There's something like a good tuxedo cat. They remind me of home so much and like my childhood. And they just have this like brave nature. Of course, they did have differences, O'Malley and Charlie. That was, I don't know if I mentioned that. That was the name of the black and white tuxedo cat. And they both obviously were very different, but their similarities were a little uncanny at times. And I loved that, because it just, I don't know, it was kind of the perfect timing too. It just all kind of happened seamlessly, and I I don't know. It was just it was great growing up with tuxedo cats because their personalities are just, they're darling. And I don't know what it is about the black and white tuxedos, but they were obsessed with our Basset. Both cats were obsessed with Walter. They were his best bud. And I think that really helped Walter grieve O'Malley, because O'Malley was truly his best friend throughout his entire, through almost his entire life. And then when we had Charlie, Walter became his best friend, and I could tell that it helped him heal a little bit, and it was so beautiful. But they just have this sort of heavily, like, strong masculine and stoic sort of nature about them, and they're just these great protectors, and they definitely have alpha, I'm the boss of everything vibe about them strongly. And everybody knew it. Everybody knew that Charlie was in charge once O'Malley had passed anyway. Everybody knew. Yep, Charlie is the first and the last say about everything. That's just how that was. And I just, now every time I see a real stocky, chunky tuxedo cat, I'm like, you have my heart. You really have my heart. Those are some of the things that remind me of childhood. So what are some things that remind you of childhood? What are some things that maybe not everybody would relate to, but when you see it, you just feel that instant calming nostalgia? Yeah. Anyway, have a good day, you guys.